Hey everyone, as you know from the title of this video, I am going to talk about the new Demon Slayer movie, Infinity Castle. So right off the bat, this is part 1 of 3 for this Infinity Castle arc, and apparently there's going to be 2 years in between each part of it. I was talking about this in my last video. I understand why they need 2 years, just because Demon Slayer is the best of the best when it comes to animation, not just in anime, but animation period in general. They're always one-upping themselves, and the way that they kind of take the 2D elements and add 3D elements into that, I truly believe that these guys are innovators in terms of animation, in terms of anime, and the results are insane. They are the greatest looking fights, battles, definitely the best I've seen in anime, at least. So I see why they need that much time, but the results pay off, and if they need more time to do that, fine. Even though I wish it was closer together, that just can't happen. That being said, let's focus on the part 1 of Infinity Castle that came out a couple weeks ago. First being, the animation. And it blew me away once again. Short story, I used to frown upon anime and anime watchers until my roommate in college was watching one of the Demon Slayer episodes in Season 1. It was Season 1, Episode 4, when he's doing his trial and facing off versus this guy. I was like, this is weird. What is happening, man? I hate anime. It's weird. It's gross. And then, what happened? This happened. Some of the water wheel animations. And I was just blown away. I was like, holy. Got on the edge of my seat and started intently watching. I was like, that looks sick. That looks so cool. It looked like that one Japanese painting of the waves kind of just hopped off the painting and went right into this animation, and ever since then I was kind of hooked on anime, hooked on Demon Slayer, and now we're here to Infinity Castle, and their animation just continues to get better. So for that, animation was 10 out of 10 like always. Next thing is the music. Well, next thing that I noticed is the music. I loved the music. I love the music just in general for all of these episodes, for all of these movies. It is an integral part to Demon Slayer. Every character kind of has their own little theme song, especially Akaza, which I won't spoil yet. So Akaza, and then Zenitzu, Inosuke, all of these characters kind of have their signature sounds, and when they're battling and it's interwoven with like electric guitar or like crazy stuff added to the theme songs that we already know, when we associate that with the character, but when that's intertwining with the epicness of the moment, the epicness of the additional sounds to the music, making it more impactful. It's crazy. I don't even know what I'm yapping about, but like just sitting there watching a fight happen, watching the animation flash and bright colors going, plus the music, like, just adds to the moment. So music was great as always too. The story. What are we going to talk about the story? One thing that I've heard from people talking about Demon Slayer is that, it's too predictable. It's too predictable. It's linear. To that, I say BS, man. Not everything has to be Attack on Titan, where you don't know what the hell's going on constantly, or they're constantly giving curveballs. I mean, like, be this big psychological mind F to make you be like, what the just happened? No, Demon Slayer, it's predictable, maybe, not really, because it's a story of good versus evil. Not this gray BS that people love to do nowadays, that Attack on Titan, as good as it is, did. This is not a story like that. Like, there's so many stories where it's like, is this the character the good guy, or are they bad? Or they're good and bad. No, there's clear distinction of good versus evil, and the fight that happens because of that. I love that simplicity of it, that moral, like, roadmap of it. Like, hey, there's clearly two sides, and they do everything in their power to fight for the side that they're on. And that's what's admirable. All the Hashira, all the demon slayers are so, like, set in their ways of trying to do good, fighting for good, and not bulking from the emotional parts of it. Because what Demon Slayer likes to do is they like to do flashbacks of some of the big demons as they're getting killed, kind of like their life flashing before their eyes type of deal. I'm not always a fan of this because it all too often tries to humanize these evil characters, these evil demons. But like, I also, on the other hand, see why they do it. Because yeah, all these demons, a part of the army, were once humans, and we kind of get a glimpse of their human life, and it makes you feel for them a little bit. But at the end of the day, justice is also served. They get killed for their actions, they get taken out, and even at the end, when they're like either A, fighting to stay alive so that they can keep doing more harm, or B, kind of like, oh man, I remember my life now, and I became a kind of horrible person, let me just die now. Despite all that, the Demon Slayers, finish the job. Because at the end of the day, if they don't, despite how they may feel about it, these demons are still demons, and they will still kill innocent people unless they're taken out. So all the Demon Slayers are very set in their ways. They're not gray. They're not like anti-heroes. They all have their own personalities, their own motivations for doing what they do. And they're all unique, offer their own special skills in each way, but at the same time they're all united in fighting for good, in fighting the demons, in helping and saving innocent lives. Good versus evil. I think that's why I like Demon Slayer above every other anime, but I get irritated when people criticize Demon Slayer for being too linear or too predictable. This is my favorite. This story is my favorite. These characters are my favorite, and I am excited to see how it all ends. I know I could cheat and read the manga, and then I'll know what happens, but I don't want to do that. So yeah, we've done kind of the spoiler-free parts. Now we're going to get into a little bit of spoilers. You have been warned. First person I want to talk about, Zenitzu. The man, the myth, the legend, has had a crazy character arc, and it showed here. He beat an upper rank. Not only an upper rank, basically his brother. I don't know if it's his biological brother, or if it's a cousin, or what, or maybe not even related by blood, but he trained with this upper rank demon who was a fantastic demon slayer before he got turned. And it was a cool yin-yang situation where Zenitsu only knows the first thunder breathing technique, and this now demon knew every other one except the first, and he was fantastic. He was the best of the best. And Zenitsu was a cowardly wimp who could only do one thing, and that was the one thing that this demon couldn't do. It was incredible, and in the end, Zenitsu, even though he got a little beat up in the process, he went from coward in season 1, annoying, could not stand to the point where I wanted to give up on this show because he annoyed me so bad, to coming up with a 6th or 7th, a new thunder breathing technique, and killing his former friend, his former brother, more importantly, a higher up demon. It was incredible. Any scene where Zenitsu is doing his thunder breathing is insane, and I love it so much. It almost makes me want to say Zenitsu is my favorite character, but I cannot because he annoys me any other time outside of him fighting. So I just thought Thought I'd get that out of the way right there. It was great. It was fantastic. Next person that we have to talk about, here she is, Shinobu. I know, it's sad. You know what I respect? Is that she's not a Mary Sue. She's not invincible just because she's a woman. She fought so freaking hard. She was smart. She was using her speed. She was using her intelligence, which is high, and her determination. She used all of that, but in the end it wasn't enough to beat whoever the heck that is. It wasn't enough, which is sad, but that's just the way it is. This was an incredible fight too. The flashbacks of her, of Shinobu, and her sister were incredible. And then her determination to keep fighting, even though she was like, shit, I am outmatched, but maybe, just maybe, I can pull this off. And she died trying anyways. That sucks. I hate this character. Absolutely disgusting what happened to her. And then him giggling about everything. Just pure evil. And now Shinobu's kind of apprentice girl, I forget her name, is up against this monstrosity all by herself. Someone needs to go in there and help her, because I don't want her to die too, and I need justice to be served to this freak. It was sad, it was impactful, it was entertaining, and as upset I was about the result of her not coming out of it, I was pleasantly surprised that they allowed that to happen. I guess it is Japan. They don't have the same wokeness that you'll see everywhere else in America. They were like, hey, she's not strong enough. She's not tall enough. She dies. And I respect that. And I respect that realistically is what happens in this story. People die. Even Shinobu. She did a lot of good, but in the end, she just got matched up with someone just a little better. Next, let's talk about our boy, Inosuke. He is probably my favorite one. Look at him. Oh my gosh. He's my favorite. Did he do a lot this movie? Not really. But, you know, that's okay. I'm sure he'll do a lot in the next movie, which I can't wait for. I want him to take on Muzan all by himself and beat him. Just kidding. Yeah, that's my hot take. I swear, if he dies, I don't think I'll be able to recover. Yeah, that's about it on our pig friend. Next, shout out to the rest of the Demon Slayer Corps. Kind of the lower level people. I like how they took time to show that these guys, even though their skill isn't like main character level, isn't Hashira level, that they were doing their best, that they were courageous, that they were trying to do their part in this infinity castle that is way, way out of their league. And you saw that skill kind of disparity between them in some of the parts, and I liked how they did that. How they kind of grounds the story a little bit and be like, hey, there's these other guys too who aren't as good as the Hashira, who aren't as crazy, skillful, not determined, just skilled as the Hashira, but they were still doing their part. They were pushing down their fear and hacking away at some of the lower level demons, and it was enjoyable to see. Alright, the next point I will bring up are these two guys. Rengoku's dad, I don't know his name, Shinjiro, and Tenjin, I forget how to say his name. Anyways, retired Hashira. I love this idea of the retired Hashira knowing that, hey, I'm out of my league, I'm past my prime, I can no longer be a Hashira, but I will still do my duty if it calls for that. Especially Rengoku's dad, who was like a drunk, who was like bitter about the whole world, until Tanjiro came around, talked to Rengoku's little brother, talked to the dad, and kind of brought peace, hope, something back to him. So we get to see these two kind of guarding the the headquarters of the Demon Slayer Corps. As the daughters or whatever, the creepy looking girls are like mapping out this Infinity Castle, Tengen and Rengoku's dad are sitting outside standing guard, which I love to see. They are still alive, they are still kicking, and they know, hey, I may not be Hashira level anymore, but I can still do my duty and protect these people inside to the best of my ability. I will lay my life down. And I think we'll see that. I think we'll see them starting to have to fight, maybe even laying their life on the line to keep the intelligence kind of operation going inside of that headquarters. I like these characters. I just like the idea of the retired Hashira. I like that idea. It's not just like, okay, poof, they're out. Just because they're not Hashira, just because they're not main characters, we kind of forget about them. No, they bring them back in multiple times in Tengen's case, kind of teaching at the Hashira camp or whatever. That being said, we also have the retired water Hashira, the guy who trained Tanjiro, and he's looking after Nezuko. That being said, Nezuko has not entered the battle, but when she does, it's going to be insane. Lastly, the main event. Tanjiro plus Giyu coming full circle. Giyu was the one who found Tanjiro in the winter forest. When Nezuko first became a demon, he was about to kill Nezuko. Tanjiro said, no, that is my sister. You will not kill her. I will protect her. If you kill her, you have to kill me first. He even went up against Giyu with an axe. Tried to take him out, threw the axe up, but pretending he still had it. All that stuff came full circle. They were training together in the last arc, but in this, they fought together as equals. After all this time, they fought as equals together to take on Akaza, who Tanjiro has history with. Akaza was the one who had the crazy fight with Rengoku in the Mugen Train. The greatest fight of this show, in my opinion, at least one of them before this fight. So redemption, Tanjiro gets another chance at Akaza, and he's like, shit, he is out of both of our leagues combined, because he can see our moves before we even do them, before we think them. That's his demon art. That's what he does. That's what he can do. He has that ability to do that. But then, luckily, we have Tanjiro here, who was able to figure it out, who was able to figure out his blood demon art, this like snowflake looking thing that tells Akaza what his opponent's about to do based on their fighting spirit. And as the battle was going on, Tanjiro was able to remember what his father has taught him, especially with the dance, how the father could do the dance all night, even when he was sick, and how he fought a bear, even when he was sick, by kind of entering into this transparent world. It was crazy. Tanjiro figured it out mid-battle, ended up defeating Akaza and pushing himself to his absolute limits. I'm surprised he didn't have a mark show up. I thought he would. Maybe that is his mark. I don't remember exactly. But Tanjiro, Giyu working together as equals was amazing to see. And they both were exhausted at the end. Giyu got the marks to show up because he overpassed his absolute limits. And then Tanjiro found that crazy in-between world that he was navigating in. Meaning, in my opinion, Tanjiro has surpassed Giyu. And it's crazy because it's like such a short amount of time between, hey, when he wasn't a demon slayer, when he was just like a 13-year-old kid in that winter forest, meeting Giyu for the first time, trying to protect his sister, until now, surpassing Giyu, killing Akaza, avenging Rengoku. It was an amazing scene. It was fantastic. And all that combined is just insane. I'm thinking. Because this is a review. So what is my final review? I was gonna say 9 out of 10. Because I'm very, 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 very stingent on my 10s out of 10s. I think the only two I've ever given a 10 out of 10 is Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring and Lord of the Rings Return of the King. And maybe a few other movies. It's very rare. This, either 9.5 out of 10 or 10 out of 10. It was great. Any of these movies, any of these episodes blow me away. My problem is some of the seasons, I'm like, okay, do we really need another flashback? This, I did not mind. It had my attention the entire time, and it flowed perfectly, one to the next. It was packed with multiple fights, packed with multiple flashbacks, packed with high stakes, stress, crazy music, crazy animation, and crazy emotion, all jam-packed into a 2-hour movie. And this is only part 1. It's going to get crazy. You know what? We'll give it a 9.5 out of 10 because I know it's just going to get crazier. And that final part 3, whenever that is, hopefully that deserves a 10 out of 10. I think it will. For this, I love Demon Slayer. The story, incredible. I will not cheat and read the manga to see what the heck happens because I was initially introduced to this through the show, fell in love with the show, and I want to follow the show as long as that takes to see the resolution. I know these next couple parts will be insane. I highly doubt if there's any parts after Infinity Castle. I have no idea. I did no research on it as far as beyond this Infinity Castle arc. But I'm excited to see what comes next with it. That being said, that's my review. I loved it, just like everyone else loved it. We were looking at Rotten Tomatoes last video, but I'll pull it up here. 98% for everyone. It's insane. People are loving this movie, including me. So, that being said, did you guys love this movie as much as I did? As much as these people on Rotten Tomatoes did? What was your favorite part of it? What is your favorite character? Yeah. What's your favorite part? What's your favorite character? Why? Any of that. I want to hear what you guys think as well about this story, about these characters, how it made you feel, if you saw it, if you liked it, if you loved it. I want to hear you guys' thoughts. So yeah, and if you got this far into the video, thank you for watching this much. I know a lot of it was me yapping and talking passionately, about this movie, but that's okay. Because I love it. I love this story. I love the fight between good and evil. And I want Tanjiro to win. Oh man, that kid. There's a lot we can learn from him. He is an inspiration to the masses. And we should all try and be a little more like our boy Tanjiro. Anyways, I've taken up enough of your time. Thank you guys for watching this. If you liked it, please give a like or subscribe. I like to talk about movies, so I do this sort of thing quite a lot. So if that interests you, please consider a subscription, a like, anything. All of that helps me an immense amount, more than you guys know. So thank you. Thank you in advance. All right, that's it. I'll let you guys get going, and I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, bye.